Hello everyone, this is Fantasy Ask, and welcome back to Season 2 of Luminous Clan in ClanGen, the Warrior Cats clan generator game. When we left off in the previous episode, we had a litter of one brown kitten. Yes, another brown kitten, but the keyword there is one brown kitten. When I thought we were gonna have like six or five or six. I thought the litter was going to be big considering the parents are fairly young, but no. Buttercup Dusk, the most precious cat in our camp, decided to just have one child. Just one child. So we were introduced to Daykit, his one and only son, his precious son with pale blue eyes, a masked pelt, and charming personality. So he is like I think in the previous episode I said a golden nugget. He is the most important member of the entire clan, to be quite honest with you. So everyone is going to throw their lives into trying to preserve him and ensure that he stays alive. However, in this episode we are moving on to some exciting stuff. We have our apprentices turning into warriors, which is going to be super fun, and Orchid Paw is actually graduating as best of her batch, which is very exciting. Oddpaw is also, geez, what am I doing? Rank, right. I was like, why do they look odd? Why is everyone in the wrong kind of state? Anyways, Oddpaw is going to be graduating into a mediator, but then we are going to ensure that she joins the warrior ranks because, like I said, she is too young to enter politics right now, so we won't be worrying too much about that. It's kind of intriguing though, that for whatever reason, Eliastar felt as though Oddpaw's path needed to be different from that of the other warriors, even though she's going to end up kind of in the same place. So I'm curious to see how her apprenticeship has kind of shaped her into adulthood. So we have that going on. And so, we'll have 5 new warriors, which is going to be very exciting. But that aside, Lystar has also gotten into contact with the Lightless cats, and he has chosen one cat to come join the clan so that he can pair them up with one of the warriors we have to ensure another litter is born and that the clan continues to grow. So we're gonna go ahead and see all of that. Okay guys, here we go. It is time for us to skip a moon, and I feel like we should take a good look at these cats because guys, this is what our clan looks like after having no outsider influence, no outsider bloodlines. This is literally just us having bred within the clan, with like the founders, the founding cats that we started off with. This is the result of just breeding within those founding cats. This is what the clan looks like. How amazing, so exciting. But at this point, like, everyone has gotten related now, and we physically cannot breed anyone else because they're all family members, Okay, here we go guys. Time to skip a moon. Luminous Clan does not have enough healthy medicine cats. Cats will be sick/hurt for longer and have a higher chance of dying. Right. With a heightened focus of the clan, 10 additional pieces of prey were gathered. During the gathering, Eliastar flatters Chirp Clan to no end. By the end of the night, Chirp Clan's leader seems more annoyed by the attention than grateful. Chirp Clan relations have worsened. Let's go ahead and praise Shade Clan. Cold Fleck was found and invited back into the clan. So we're going to take a look at Cold Fleck at some point when we jump into the cat list. For now though, let's continue. Gracewipe travels to the other clans to bring them an important message. Wait, what? What? Cold Fleck faded more and more as the days went by until one day he was found dead in his nest? He just came in. But to be fair, guys, he was quite up there in age. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have to dive into the catalyst like right now. Reed Daisy travels to Chirp Clan to resolve some recent herb gathering disputes. Reed Daisy woke up in the middle of the night to a strange noise. No one else was awake, or so she thought, until seeing someone at the fresh kill pile. Before Reed Daisy could realize her mistake, sharp canine teeth were at her throat, ensuring the clan wakes up to find her nest empty and the prey gone. What? Did Reed Daisy die? Lyastar has been following the progress of Lupine Paw for moons and feels that it is finally time for her to get her warrior name. She is granted the name Lupine Pelt in honor of her exemplar. Lupine Pelt was moving some branches out of the way when she got a splinter. As Oddpaw has finished her mediator training, Lyastar gives her the name Oddsnarl after her loyalty, welcoming her as the clan's new, not mediator, warrior. Orchid Paw, grumbles to herself as Lyastar changes just a single word in the ceremony. She knows better than to correct him during such an important ceremony though, and she can speak to Lyastar about it later. For now, she listens as she is given the name Orchid Kick and is honored for her leadership. I'm gonna change her name. I'm not feeling that one, guys. Orchid Kick fell into a river and inhaled a lot of water before managing to get out. She's been hacking and sputtering ever since. Lyastar calls the clan to a meeting and declares Magpie Paw to be a warrior. He is now called Magpie Hiss and is celebrated for his attention. I don't know, Magpie Hiss? I'm gonna have to think about it. Because Magpie, I see, it's Magpie Hiss. I get it. Magpie Hiss? No, I get it, but because I'm seeing like the P and the like is, my brain is like reading that as piss. So no, we are gonna change that. We are gonna change that for sure. Magpie Hiss fell into a river and inhaled a lot of water before managing to get out. What is going on with these cats? He's been hacking and sputtering ever since. Bonepaw no longer has a stomach ache. Lyastar stands above the clan and proclaims that Bonepaw shall now be known as Bone Song, honoring his intelligence. I like that. Greyswipe is rocked by the loss of Reed Daisy, so Reed Daisy did die. All those memories and shared moments are now burdens that she must carry alone. As the vigil draws to a close, someone suggests she should eat. She refuses, not so much as shifting her vacant gaze, and Reed Daisy obviously was Greyswipe's last surviving child, and now she too is gone. Grief swells up to swallow Rowan Pelt when he hears the news about Reed Daisy. He spends time by himself, letting himself mourn Reed Daisy and the time they should have had together. No one can begrudge him the need to grieve. Bonepaw tries to put on a brave face for his clanmates, but as he speaks about Reed Daisy, his voice wavers and then breaks off into nothing. With a trembling gasp, he retreats to let another clanmate speak. He makes a point of removing foliage from Reed Daisy's nest, snapping at any hindrance. His paws tremble over the material, distraught when he realizes how fast Reed Daisy's scent is fading. And the heartbreaking thing about this is that Bonepaw was Reed Daisy's favorite child, among his litter. So, I can understand. He was he was his mother's boy, and now she's gone. The past moon, Cold Fleck, and Reed Daisy have taken their place in Star Clan. Luminous Clan mourns their loss, and their clanmates will miss where they had been in their lives. Moments of their lives are shared in stories around the circle of mourners as those that were closest to them take them to their final resting place. Now, guys, we're going to jump into the cat list because we need to take a look at the changes that have happened. But Cold Fleck was a cat that Lyastar knew from his days before Luminous Clan came into existence. This was a lightless cat that Lyastar was in contact with, knew before Lyastar was chosen as one of the followers for the prophets, right? By the prophets. And so Cold Fleck is a cat, or was a cat, who was a lot older, around Lyastar's age. And Lyastar was going to pair this cat with one of Rowan Pelt's remaining sisters. And I feel like that would have been a very unpopular decision for the clan, because these guys, you know, Shadowswell and Cloudfur, they are young adult cats, and he was gonna pair them up with someone who was around his age. And I don't know how the younger cats would have felt about that, but they could have, they might have retaliated against it. And funny thing, how Fate assisted them by bringing him into the clan and then taking his life straight off the bat. So it could be that Cloudfur and Shadowswell's family members in Star Clan were kind of looking out for them. And we know that Lyastar has a long history of making very questionable decisions. I mean, sometimes he happens to make the right ones, but I think largely he is always making very questionable decisions, especially when it comes to these pairings. So I think Cloudfur and Shadowswell, they both let out a kind of gasp of relief, a sigh of relief, when this new male that was brought in by Lyastar had passed on, before Lyastar announced that either of them were going to be paired with him. So I think they're very happy, and I think they lucked out in that regard. And if they had gone paired up, I don't think, the clan members would have been happy with that. But okay, let's take a look at our lovely cats. Oddsnall is so pretty, but we need to go ahead and turn her into a warrior, which she is. Excellent. So now she's gonna be down with the other cats. Yes. So we have, I'm trying to go in the order that they were born in, which Lupine Pelt is the firstborn in her litter, so she's the oldest in her litter. Lupine Pelt looks quite lovely, a lot like her father, but more brownish. Actually, Bonesong is the closest in coloring to his father. Lupine Pelt has a bit more brown in her. Oddsnall is actually super close to her father too. But yeah, Lupine Pelt has more brown. She's more of a muddy color, whereas the other two are more of a reddish color. So she's charismatic and a great kid sitter. Okay, Lupine Pelt. Let's take a look at how her mentor influenced her. Let's see. She was mentored by Buttercup Dusk, and she was kind of up there. You know, she obviously wasn't best of her batch, but she put up a good fight. Buttercup Dusk influenced her to be more likely to be resilient, break rules that don't suit them, and be slow to anger. When she graduated, she was honored for her exemplar. Okay, I can understand how Buttercup Dusk would teach her to be more resilient, because Buttercup Dusk himself has been through a lot in life. A lot, especially in his recent years, or recent moons. So I feel like he had a lot of experience to give Lupine Pelt. And the breaking rules that don't suit them, I suppose we'll see that with time. And being slow to anger. I mean, Buttercup Dusk was, I think, put into a lot of unfair situations, especially by Lyastar. And yet, he wasn't quick to anger. I mean, when he had a problem with something, he did speak up about it, but he didn't let that kind of enrage him, and he didn't let his emotions control him. He kept quite calm, I feel like, throughout a lot of situations that were thrown his way, and he dealt with it. He dealt with it as best as he could. So I think, again, that's another lesson he would have given a Lupine Pelt. So that is really cool. It is nice that we have a wonderfully charismatic cat with us. Next up, we have, I think it was Oddsnall. Oddsnall was the second born. And she actually looks very pretty. Especially with her eyes, she's such a striking cat. She is still strict and a good kid sitter. So I'm very curious to see how her mentor influenced her, especially because she is a warrior now. She was mentored by Reed Daisy. When she graduated, she was honored for her loyalty. So Reed Daisy didn't really pass much on to Oddsnall. Interesting. But I think we saw a lot of this. in my eyes, the entirety of Oddsnall being a mediator apprentice, she was too busy being envious of her other siblings and wanting to go out on patrols like they were, or even in politics. She was too busy looking at everyone else in politics, like her grandparents, and thinking that they're so amazing, like why is she stuck with her mother when her mother can't seem to get anything done, you know? So it kind of makes sense to me. It kind of makes sense why there wasn't really much that she feels she learned from her mother. Huh. Okay, and then we had Orchid. Orchid, who's like the other part of her name I need to change. Her suffix, I need to change her suffix because it is not flowing. Orchid Kick is not flowing, but she graduated as best of her batch. So let's take a look at her when she's like healthy. Oh, look at her! She's so cute! What a little adorable plushy looking cat! And she is a like complete white cat with beautiful blue eyes. Oh my goodness. But her name, hold on a second. Orchid Egg. Oh, that's adorable. Orchid Egg. No, Orchid Claw? Orchid Claw. Orchid Shine? Orchid Shine could be nice, kind of in honor of Burrow Shine. Yeah. Because Burrow Shine was her first mentor, and Burrow Shine was killed by her grandmother. So I think Orchid Shine would actually be quite nice as a way to remember Burrow Shine. But she's maintained her strictness and is a talented swimmer. Let's see what like her mentor influenced her, or how her mentors influenced her. Okay, she learned a lot more than her sister. Odd what? Oddsnall. Yes, Oddsnall. She learned a lot more than her sister. She was mentored by Burrowshine and Rowanpelt. Burrowshine influenced her to be more likely to use words over teeth and claws. Rowanpelt influenced her to be more likely to be slow to anger and break rules that don't suit them. Rowanpelt helped her become better at swimming. Okay, so her father really influenced her in her skills, which are swimming, and also not angering. I think Rowanpelt. That's interesting that Rowanpelt taught her that, because he was quite I think he was a bloodthirsty apprentice himself that was quick to kind of, I think, rage or dive into like fighting things and fighting like the world around him. And then his incident with the broken back taught him to kind of tone that down into fierceness that was more protective and not so offensive. And I feel like in the time where he was in the medicine cat den and he was unable to kind of do anything, he had to stop being so reactive to life being so inactive, because even if you get angry when you have a broken back, what are you going to do about it? You can't do anything about it. So I think he was kind of forced to mature very quickly emotionally to deal with that frustration. And he has kind of passed those lessons on to Orchid Shine. So that's really nice. Really nice. And then Burrowshine, Burrowshine, she was a sneaky cat. And I mean, from even the whole personal incident that she had with like having a crush on Buttercup Dusk, but then having Buttercup Dusk paired up with her sister, she didn't kind of go out fighting with her claws and her teeth. She, used her sneaky nature to try and wiggle in between them or get closer to Buttercup Dusk. And then in time, she kind of realized that Buttercup Dusk wasn't all she made him out to be. Like, she had put him on a pedestal and created these stories around him, which not all of which were true. So I think that lesson was given to Orchid Shine before she passed on. Very interesting, though. Very interesting. And then we have a Magpie Hiss who desperately needs his name changed. Magpie Shell? Magpie Shell. What about Magpie Pelt? We already have a Pelt, don't we? One of his siblings is a Pelt. Magpie Fang? Magpie Purr? Magpie Heart. Magpie Heart is cute. Magpie Heart is adorable. He's still nervous, a good storyteller, and a good swimmer. So, what does he look like when he's healthy? Ooh, he looks pretty with his cyan eyes and his black coat. Very, very cute. Okay, so what did he learn from his mentor Shadow Swirl? He was mentored by Shadow Swirl. Shadow Swirl influenced him to be more likely to have strong inner morals. Shadow Swirl helped him become better at swimming. When he was graduated, he was honored for his attention. Okay, that's interesting. So Shadow Swirl, I suppose, kind of taught Magpie Heart to be true to his heart and let that guide him. And if he lets that guide him, then he will find that in a lot of situations, his nervousness will not take him over. Because at times when it counts, when you have to get things done, if you know in your heart that what you are doing matters, then you won't be worried or nervous about the outcome of it. So that is very nice. Okay, short and sweet sort of lesson. So you have Magpie Heart and then Bone Song. So Bone Song is still lonesome and eloquent speaker, so let's go. I remember him in his younger days being a confident speaker or good with words. So let's see what his mentor kind of taught him. He was mentored by Cloudfur. Cloudfur influenced him to be more likely to start a fight and interact with others. Cloudfur helped him become better at arguing. When he graduated, he was honored for his intelligence. Okay, that is very interesting. All his other siblings have been taught to, use words over claws and teeth. Don't fight, don't get angry. Meanwhile, Cloudfur here is teaching him, no, you go and fight. Make sure you interact with others. Stop kind of, sequestering yourself away and not getting into contact with the cats around you, because if you don't let the cats around you know what you are thinking and you are feeling, then you will kind of fade into the background. You'll become invisible, you'll become forgotten, and if there's anything you want, it is not to be forgotten. You want to be present. And I feel like Cloudfur, a lot of this is probably coming from the fact that amongst her siblings, I feel like Cloudfur has kind of faded into the background. At least that's what it feels like in the experience of the clan. So far, it feels as though her siblings are kind of out there doing all these grand things and Cloudfur is just existing. So I think she tried to change some of this in her apprentice to make sure he doesn't become kind of invisible like her. And also helped him become better at arguing. I think she noticed that he had this particular skill, he was good with words, and she wanted to really hone that to make sure that when he does engage with other cats that they really listen to him. So that's really cool. And let's see what he looks like. Oh, look at that. What a pretty one. What a pretty one. He looks a lot like his father. He definitely looks a lot like his father. Yeah. If you look at the family tree, I mean, he's curled up right now. But I think if he wasn't curled up, he would look a lot like his father. But I suppose even curled up, they look very similar to each other. Like Rowan Pelt and Bonesong. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, the other thing is, we have Rowan Pelt and Lupine Pelt. I'm wondering whether I should change Lupine Pelt's suffix. Because, we already have a cat in the clan currently with that suffix. And it's not as unique. At least with Orchid Shine. Like Odd Snarl, we had a Cloudy Snarl, but she's not around anymore, so Odd Snarl is okay. Orchid Shine, the Shine is in honor of Burrow Shine, but Burrow Shine is not around anymore. Whereas we have Rowan Pelt and Lupine Pelt. So I'm wondering if I should change. You have Magpie Heart, Bonesong, Darkpound, Slumber Roach, Bubbling Gale, Daykit, which we need to check out Daykit. I might change Lupine Pelt's suffix so that it's a bit more unique. Lupine Drizzle, Lupine Asta, not Snarl, not Wing, Branch, Lupine Spring, Lupine Wave, Lupine Tumble, Lupine Goose, Lupine Whisker, maybe Lupine Whisker, Lupine Buzz, maybe Lupine Claw. Lupine Claw? I think Lupine Claw. Yeah, I think we'll keep it to Lupine Claw. Because that way at least it's a bit more unique from the other cats that we have. Because we already have her father who is a Rowan Pelt. So I think Lupine Claw fits just fine. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. That's what we have. And Daykit. Let's look at... Daykit! He looks like a little beach cat, doesn't he? He looks like the beach to me. So cute though, so pretty. He's charming, still charming, splashes in puddles, this adorable young thing, with his pale blue eyes that he gets from his mother's stone speck, and with that precious triple prophetic bloodline. He's like the epitome of our clan, the epitome of our clan, which is wonderful. But I also want to take a look, guys, at Coldfleck, the cat that Lystar knew from his days before the Luminous Clan, who he invited in, and who he was going to pair up with Rowan Pelt's sisters, either Cloudfur or Shadowswell. So where is he? Coldfleck. So this is the cat, Coldfleck, a senior with cyan eyes and a rosette pelt, who is lonesome, a great speaker, and a good storyteller. He was the cat kind of picked up by Lystar, chosen by Lystar for one of those, young adult females. And I think those sisters are both very, very glad. This would have been like another questionable choice of Lystar. So I think those sisters are actually very, very glad that Coldfleck came into the clan and then he died as soon as he came into the clan because of his old age. So, yeah. And actually, does it say that he died from old age? Yeah, he died of old age. So I think they are very, very glad that that's what ended up happening, because I don't think either of those sisters would have really wanted to be paired with him. I mean, we won't know how they would have felt because it didn't end up happening, but I feel like both Cloudfur and Shadowswell would be very relieved that that pairing did not come, that announcement was not made. I bet they were like clutching each other when the news came that the new cat who had entered camp didn't make it out of his nest the next day. Okay, that does mean though that we still do not have anyone yet that we can pair up, so we're gonna have to try again in the next episode. But let's go ahead, guys, and take a look at relationships. This episode is like, I feel like gonna be so long because we have so much to get through. But let's take a look at relationships. What's going on over here? Bubbling Gale saw Lystar the other day, but didn't get a chance to meow hello. Bubbling Gale acknowledges Daykit with a twitch of his whiskers. Dark Pounds has snuggled up against Cloudfur. Dark Pounds has drawn the eye of Stonespeck by deliberately taking the last of her favorite nesting material for herself. Lystar said he'd cover for Plumraven, but when it came time, he got Plumraven in trouble. Lystar asks Reed Daisy how she's doing. Slumberroach hisses at Rowan Pelt over something small. Slumberroach, a magpie paw, and a Grey Swipe had a nice talk while eating, so this is before the apprenticeship ceremonies. Slumberroach feels like Stonespeck isn't taking her own personal health seriously. Grey Swipe has drawn the ire of Magpie Paw by deliberately taking the last of his favorite nesting materials for herself. Grey Swipe and Daykit can't seem to agree on the truth about something. Coldfleck and Oddpaw always have something to share with each other, so Coldfleck was kind of hanging around chatting with Oddpaw. Coldfleck was noticeably distracted when Reed Daisy was trying to tell a story, so he wasn't getting along well with Reed Daisy, but he was with Oddpaw. Plumraven was scolded for something that Slumberroach gets praised for. Plumraven asks Oddpaw how she's doing. Reed Daisy, who also passed away, guys, made Shadowswell laugh again and again. Reed Daisy comforts a Magpie Paw after a terrible nightmare. Buttercup Dusk thinks that Orchid Paw stole one of his ideas. Buttercup Dusk wants to be closer to Orchid Paw. Stonespeck spent the day arguing with Grey Swipe about whether she stole something from Stonespeck. Rowan Pelt sees Bubbling Gale be kind to one of Rowan Pelt's friends. Cloudfur explains what a joke means to Dark Pounce. Shadowswell can't remember a word for the life of her, but Rowan Pelt helps her remember it. Magpie Paw hit Lupine Pelt on the face with his tail while passing by. Rowan Pelt believes in Odd Snarl's version of events when something happens and the clan doubts her. Orchid Shine, there we go. I was forgetting a name. Orchid Shine feels a little safer when Daykit joins her in the clearing. Rowan Pelt tells a Magpie Heart that his pelt is shiny today. And I feel like the magpie heart can be in honor of like Poppy Heart from back in the day. We need to check, is Poppy Heart related to magpie heart in any way? That'd be curious if it was. Bone Song sees Darkpound staring off into the distance. It's kind of creepy. Day Kid keeps telling Gracewipe to stop saying a joke, but Gracewipe doesn't take his request seriously. And then we had Reed Daisy's passing. And then obviously around here we probably had Cold Flex passing as well. Now I wanted to check if Magpie Heart is actually related to Poppy Heart. I don't think he is, but we had a cat back in the day who was related, who was called Poppy Heart, Plumestripe's sister. I think Day Kid would be related to her. Yeah, there we go. So that's actually Day Kid's grandmother, Poppy Heart over here. Day Kid's grandmother, Buttercup Dusk's mother. But anyways, Magpie Heart has that name, which is kind of cool. Let's quickly jump into the Medicine Cat Den. Orchid Shine has water in their lungs, and Magpie Heart has water in their lungs. I don't know what's going on with these siblings, why and how they dived into the water, but they did apparently. Okay, let's check the log. Bubbling Gale was given plantain as treatment for fleas. Buttercup Dusk was given plantain as treatment for fleas. We also apparently have a flea problem. Stone Speck was given oak leaves as treatment for recovering from birth. Bone Paw was given mallow as treatment for stomach ache. Bone Paw no longer has a stomach ache. Okay, good. Now that we've wrapped up events, which flippin' took so long, let's cut the recording here and pick back up in the cat list. Okay, we are resuming in the cat list. First of all, we need to go ahead and we need to actually have some changes to our political ranks. So Reed Daisy passed away, which means Plum Raven is going to... Hold on a second, no, Plum Raven is still the medicine cat, but she was the mediator. So Buttercup Dusk is actually going to enter politics as a mediator, guys. So he will not be going out into any more patrols. So let's go ahead and promote him into a mediator. To be honest, this role would have been very, very useful back when we were, I suppose, trying to breed him. We wouldn't have been like as freaked out about him dying if he was never being sent out on any of the patrols. But yes, he is going to be now a mediator. He's finally entering politics. So that is one of the changes that we have made. And now in terms of loyalties, something has shifted. So Gracewipe has actually become a loyalist of Lyastar alongside Oddsnarl and Darkpounds. Now, I think this is something we've noticed with Gracewipe, where whenever there's a tragedy that happens within her family, she ends up becoming loyal to Lyastar because I think she's looking for a sense of connection. The last time we kind of saw this was when I think Fig Scratch died, when Crocus Fade died, and now in Reed Daisy, their daughter has died again. You know, the daughter that she had with Lyastar. She is once more becoming loyal to him because she wants and needs, I think, that sense of connection. Because they both know what they're mourning, they both know what they've lost. It was something they had with each other. So there we go. That's what we have in terms of loyalties. And I don't think there's no mediation that needs to be done because we don't have a couple we're trying to have kids with just yet. Lyastar is going to have to find someone else to bring into the clan for our kitty cats to allow for another litter. So that is probably something that is going to be worked on in the next episode. But I do think Cloudfur and Shadow Swirl are probably very nervous to see who Lyastar is going to bring in next, especially considering the male that he brought in the first time round. I think that would kind of bring those two sisters together even more so, kind of being almost afraid of what, fate has in store for them. And I think also before this, the clan has never kind of bred with an outsider before. They've kind of been used to just doing things within the clan with cats they have known their whole lives, cats they're familiar with. But now suddenly a new cat from outside is going to be brought in, and they're going to be told to have a litter with these strange cats. So I think they're a bit worried about who they're going to end up with. So, okay, let's just go through and see what everyone's doing for the day. Lystar can't stand the sight of Reed Daisy's body in camp. And the sad thing is that Reed Daisy was actually Lystar's favorite child out of his 3 children that he had. Out of his 3 children, Crocus Fade, Fig Scratch, and Reed Daisy was the youngest, and Reed Daisy was his favorite. So I think this would be really difficult for him. Gracewipe fluffs up Slumberroach's nest for him. Plum Raven keeps her patients distracted with silly games while she treats them. Buttercup Dusk almost got lost near some 2-leg nests. Cloudfur had a nice chat with a kitty pet. Shadow Swirl also had a nice chat with a kitty pet. I kind of love the idea that these two sisters who we were just talking about, they are hanging out together. Stone Speck saw a kitty pet with no fur at all. Rowan Pelt saw a kitty pet sitting calmly next to a dog. Odd Snarl insists that Reed Daisy isn't gone. Oh, she's having a hard time letting go of her mother, I suppose, even though she kind of took a lot of things for granted when she was training under her mother, because she probably always assumed that her mother wasn't going anywhere. But now that Reed Daisy isn't there, it's just so odd to her because she's used to her mother always being there. Orchid Shine insists that Reed Daisy isn't gone. Oh, Orchid Shine. Lupine Claw left Reed Daisy's vigil early due to grief. Magpie Heart can't stand the sight of Reed Daisy's body in camp. And Bone Song got caught in a sudden downpour and is not happy about it. He is very deeply in grief. Very, very deeply in grief, because he was his mother's favorite child, and he always knew that. And now I think he's going to feel even more alone without his mother there in the picture. Dark Pounce is feeling gloomy. Slumber Roach can't stand the sight of Reed Daisy's body in camp. And Bubbling Gale saw a 2-leg petting Alona. And Daykit wonders what Gracewipe is up to. Okay, so it seems as though that's all we have for the cat list. Let me cut the recording here and we'll pick up in patrols. Oh my goodness, we barely have any cats that are able to go out on patrols. Like, everyone's grieving, no one's in the mood. We currently have 131 prey and we need 42.5. The only cats we have available for the patrols are Lupine Claw, Odd Snarl, and I think Odd Snarl would be so excited because this is actually the first time in her life she's going out on a patrol. Her entire apprenticeship was spent in the camp. She was not allowed to go on patrols. And as a warrior, this is her first time going out and the first time experiencing all these stories that her siblings used to tell her about when they were younger. So this is probably very exciting for her. We have Shadow Swirl, Cloudfur, and then Lystar going out on a patrol. So let's see what happens. Shadow Swirl is trailing behind the patrol when there is a mighty clatter of stones from below her. She looks around wildly just in time for the world to tip upside down as the scree slope beneath her collapses. Proceed. Her clanmates come running at her yowls and Shadow Swirl is soon freed, shaken but unharmed. The patrol settles down as everyone comforts each other. I think that would have been like a terrifying first patrol for Odd Snarl. Definitely not what she was expecting, but thankfully no one was harmed. Shadow Swirl made it out. It would have been very sad if she had another injury on top of the scars that she has on her tail from the rogues that ambushed her when she was a lot younger. But darn. Okay, well guys, with that said and done, I'm going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.